What can I say, guys? I truly believe that this is one of the most broken builds in the game, and for some reason you guys are not using it. So today I want to go over it, go into details, show you all the mods, talk about the playstyle, and I truly hope that after this video you will give this build a try and see for yourself how powerful it is. This is the build that got me to top 500. This is the build which I use when I do my trials carries. It's an overall absolutely S tier build that every single one of you guys should try. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the mods, okay? On the class item, we're going to have double utility kickstart. And especially now where we got the update and the class abilities are nerfed, which means that you're not going to be able to use them every 11-12 seconds. Now it's more like 15-16 seconds. It's better than ever. Let me show you exactly what I mean, right? If you drop your class item, look at the initial energy. Boom, a huge bump in energy right away. So if you haven't yet, make sure to have your class ability on stasis and run double utility kickstart. We also have taking charge. I'm going to explain why it's there here in a second. Now on the boots, which are going to be the one and only peacekeepers, which in my humble opinion is easily the most underrated exotic in the game. It's funny to me how people underestimate this exotic, man. It's easily S tier. It's just so powerful. If you love SMGs, there's literally no reason for you guys to not run this exotic. It takes any SMG to the next level, and especially when you're pairing it with Teraba, yeah, it's just something else. And once again, we'll talk about that here in a minute, but now let's take a look at the mod, which is going to be swift charge, which means that as long as you get rapid kills with an SMG, you're going to get charged with light. And remember, we have also taking charge to get charged with light, but swift charge is also really, really good for a specific reason, and we'll go into that here in a minute. On the chest piece, we have high energy fire, now unflinching submachine gun aim. On the gloves, we have submachine gun loader and bolstering detonation, which once again, this can be really, really good if you're trying to get your class ability back even faster. Let's say on this whole build, you don't want to run the healing grenade. What I would suggest is go and play with firebolt grenade, which means that every time when you damage someone, you are going to get even more class ability energy back. And not only that, but firebolt has even less of a cooldown than healing grenade, which is just crazy. And on the helmet, we have submachine gun targeting and powerful friends, which is pretty much needed here to activate swift charge. And on top, we get a beautiful plus 20 boost on mobility, which is great. Now let's talk about the weapons, the one and only Teraba, and what I feel like is the biggest mistake that people make when they use Teraba. People try to use it as a normal SMG, and don't get me wrong, it is a normal SMG in its normal form, but you gotta think of it as Hawkmoon, okay? Let me explain. If you're in a 1v3 situation, you wanna start isolating people and then dealing some damage. Don't necessarily think about the kills 24/7 with this gun because you have Ravenous Beast, because once you do charge it up, that's your goal. It's game over. Nothing's killing you. The only thing that probably can beat you if your Ravenous is up is Chaperone, where you get sniped. Nothing else should be killing you, okay? This thing is out of this world broken. It melts, it shreds, it deletes people. It's like they never existed in that lobby in the first place. Teraba just feels so good, and it is perfect with two things in this build. One, obviously Peacekeepers takes it to an absolutely different level, and swift charge. Because if you do have your Ravenous Beast up, right? And if you... That's the sound of two people dying right there. That's it. That's all it takes. And now you're charged with light. Now, don't forget, we have high energy fire. So even though Ravenous Beast is over, we're still going to be dealing more damage. Now in the kinetic slot, we have the one and only Eye of Soul. Almost 5,000 kills. We're sitting at around 92% accuracy or something crazy like that. Snapshot sights, opening shot, the OG version of Eye of Soul, my favorite sniper in the game. It's an absolute monster. I'm having so much fun with it in general, and I feel like it's a great choice to pair with Teraba. But that said, it does create a problem, right? We have nothing to fight at mid-range. We have Teraba, Peacekeepers, all of the crazy movement, but that will help you in the close range. There's no mid-range, and then you have long range with the snipers. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's what many people think when they look at this build. But I believe that in Destiny 2, none of the maps, even the longest ones, are so big that you can't utilize pretty much any weapon in the game to your advantage. Let me explain. If I know I have an SMG and somebody right over there has a pulse, I shouldn't be challenging from here with an SMG, right? Instead, I should be going from cover to cover, and then get them in the range that I desire, and then get into the fight. That's what you want to do. And I truly believe that in Destiny 2, every map gives you the ability to do that. So I'm not really worried about that mid-range encounter. But let's say you just don't like sniping and you want something else. Well, you can use a scout, a pulse, a bow, whatever it is. It's still gonna work perfectly fine. If you want to run double primaries, it's gonna be completely up to you. There's so many other things that make this build extremely good. For example, we have the movement, right? The Titan movement is absolutely ridiculous. Thanks to the melees, you can do some crazy shit, and overall, it's extremely fun. We have survivability, which means that we can heal ourselves, and it's just so powerful and clutch in many situations, especially in 1v2s, 1v3s. The same 1v2 and 1v3s, by the way, that can be extremely easy thanks to Terabot and Ravenous Beast. When you have everything in a build, those are the builds that break the game. And this is that build, 100%. You just have to try it. Now let's take a look at the super that I'm running with this build, which is going to be the Burning Maul. A lot of people don't do that. But in a meta where Bubble is king, Burning Maul is an easy pick. The cooldown is really, really low, which means that you can pretty much fight the Bubble. And on top of that, if the enemy has a bubble and you have your Burning Maul ready to go, unless you mess up yourself, there's no reason you should be losing that. There's only one thing they can do, and that is suppress you. If they don't have a grenade, it's bye-bye. You're winning that fight. Overall, it's a very underrated super. Once again, I feel like the whole story of this build is being extremely underrated. Let me quickly show you the aspects right here. Boom. Here are the fragments that I'm going to be using for this build for all the people that are interested. Now, there is one more thing that you can do. If you don't want to use the healing grenades, you can swap it out for the Firebolt grenade. The reason you want to do that is, one, it has a lower cooldown, which is crazy. Two, you can start playing more aggressively with this grenade. And finally, number three, it works perfectly with our mod on the gloves, which is going to be the ball-stirring detonation. So if you want to get your class ability back even faster, this combination right here is absolutely perfect. And on top of all of this, we have max resilience, recovery, and intellect. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you don't need max intellect, this and that, blah, blah, blah. The truth is, you do. Every second matters. As mentioned, in a meta of bubbles, where the cooldown is like 24 seconds or something for the bubble, you need every second you can get to get your supers fast so you can counter them right away. That's just the reality. Some people believe it, some people don't, but it's simply the truth. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you guys try this build out. I promise you, it really is very powerful. You got close range covered, long range, pretty much everything, survivability, movement, damage, buffs, mods, stats, supers. Everything about this build is S tier. So please try it out. And since I know for a fact that once you do try this out, you'll absolutely fall in love with it, can you please take a minute, come back to this video, hop into the comment section, and let me know what you loved the most about this build. If you did enjoy the video, and only if you did, slap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, never forget to share that positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, we got no scope!